it just me, or are indie brands absolutely crushing it in the makeup space lately? And with so many new releases, it can be almost a little bit overwhelming knowing which products are actually worth your money. Today we're testing out the brand new Up Beauty Skyfire Palette and creating this gorgeous purple glam. Now this product is Aurora Borealis in a palette, so the real question is, does it actually perform as beautifully as the real thing? If you want to see how I created this look and if I think the Up Beauty Skyfire palette is worth your money, just keep on watching. So this is the new Up Beauty Skyfire palette, and the packaging on the outside blew me away when I first saw this. It is a holographic Aurora Borealis scene in the mountains. It is just stunning. So this retails for $49 and it's comprised of 12 duochrome shimmers and creamy mattes. And inside the palette is just as gorgeous as the outer packaging. This is like my perfect palette. I love these colors and I love Aurora Borealis. I think it's so pretty, so I'm so excited to use this. Now what I think is so cool about this palette is that the outer packaging is comprised from 30% post-consumer materials. It is also cruelty-free, formulated without talc, and it's actually skincare infused. It is formulated from sodium hyaluronate, which is a small molecule derived from hyaluronic acid, and it absorbs more easily into the skin, designed to help hydrate the delicate eye area. So I think that is really cool. This palette launched on the 24th of April, so you can shop it on What's Up Beauty's website. I will leave a link in the description for you. So without further ado, let's see if the Skyfire palette performs just as beautifully as it looks. So I've gone ahead and prepped my eyes using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 1. So let's create a look using the palette. On a Sigma E42 brush, I'm going to take the shade Horizon, and I'm placing this shade in my crease and outer edge, creating a half moon shape. This color is going on beautifully. There's a little bit of fallout, but it's really pigmented, so that's kind of normal and what I expect to see in eyeshadows that do have a lot of pigment to them. Next, on a Morphe M506 brush, I'm going to take the shade Nebula, and I'm using that to blend out the previous shade, just adding some more color into the blend. Again, another beautiful shade. They just blend so easily into each other. Those two shades do look very similar when they're layered together though, so I might add another shade later on just to add a bit more depth to the look. On a What's Up Beauty R105 brush, I'm going to take the shade Haze, and I'm going to use this as a transition shade just to blend these deeper berry tones out. This lavender shade might actually be one of my favorite purples I've ever tried. Purples are usually really difficult to formulate, but this one just blends out like it's nothing. It's such a lovely shade to use. It just diffuses so nicely, and it's just made that blend look so gorgeous. On another Morphe M506 brush, I'm going to pick up the shade Midnight. And I'm just adding a little bit of this to add some more depth to the crease, just so that we have a bit more variation in our blend. That shade was very softly pressed, so I did have to go a little bit more light-handed with that shade than the others, but it blended out beautifully. So I'm just taking some of micellar water on a Q-tip and carving out space for a halo eye. Then I'm taking my P. Louise paint in the shade Blank Canvas and using that to create a nice crisp line so that our shimmer shades can really be the star of the show. So now that we've got the base for our halo eye, let's test out some of these shimmer shades. On a Morphe JH42 brush, I'm going to take the shade Galaxy, and I'm just placing this right on the edge of the halo eye. That shimmer shade is stunning. You can really see it on this eye. It's just like liquid glitter. I'm obsessed. On that same brush, I'm picking up the shade Sky, and I'm just placing that next to that Galaxy shade, leaving the middle of the lid blank. On a Sigma E57 brush, I'm going to pick up the shade Comet, and I'm placing that right in the center of the halo eye, blending it into the edge of that Sky shade. That shade's not going on very well with a brush, so instead I'm going to apply it with my finger. Ooh, that's so pretty. Oh yeah, instantly. That is so much better. Sometimes you can just kind of tell when something's not going to translate very well onto the eye with a brush. The shade, I noticed, is pressed a little bit more softly than the others, but I mean, it is so stunning. So I haven't cleaned up any of the fallout because I just wanted to show you guys how much there was. The shimmer shades have kind of put sparkles everywhere, and there was a little bit of fallout with the darker matte shades, but I'm actually quite impressed with how minimal it was. These eyeshadows are very pigmented, so usually I do expect a little bit more fallout, but I mean, this is why I do my eyes first, so that I can just take a makeup wipe and clean all of it up. So fallout wise, this palette definitely gets a pass because it was very minimal. So I'm going to quickly go and do my base makeup and then we will finish off the eyes. Alright, my base is done, so let's finish off the eyes. I'm going back in with the shade Horizon on that same brush, and I'm going to run that underneath my lower lash line, keeping it right up against my lashes. Then I'm going back in with the shade Nebula, and I'm going to use that to smoke that Horizon shade out. And lastly, I'm picking up the shade Haze. And we're just using this as our transition shade, blending this up to the shades on the top of our eye. On a Morphe M321 brush, I'm going to take the shade Stars. And I'm placing this in my inner corner and under my brow bone. In the waterline, I'm taking this cream gel liner from Colourpop in the shade Charmer. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to pop on some mascara and lashes. And here are the eyes all complete. And here's the final look using the Up Beauty Skyfire Palette. So now that I have tested the palette out, do I think that this is worth your money? Now, I may be biased when I say this because I do genuinely enjoy Up Beauty products, but their latest eyeshadow palette performed exactly how I thought it would. All of their previous eyeshadow palettes have been stunning, and Skyfire is another one to add to that amazing lineup. All of the mattes blended beautifully into each other. They're pigmented, but they don't have too much fallout where it's unusable. And the shimmers, arguably one of my favorite shimmer eyeshadow formulas Up Beauty has released. They are creamy, they are pigmented, and they are oh so sparkly. They look like liquid glitter on your eyes, and I am just obsessed with the shine they give off. Seriously, I cannot stop looking at my eyes. They are just so glittery and gorgeous. So Up Beauty, you have truly outdone yourselves. I think for $49, this is a stunning eyeshadow palette. The formulas are unique. I do love how they're infused with skincare and of course cruelty-free. Obviously when you're buying from smaller beauty brands, you are going to expect a little bit of a higher price point just because they don't have unlimited funds to pump out products like some of the bigger brands. However, I think this is a really solid buy, especially if you do love purples and colors of the Aurora Borealis. Personally for me, this is like my perfect eyeshadow palette because I do love glitters, purple tones, everything sparkly. So if you are eyeing up the Skyfire palette, I definitely think this is worth the money. Thank you again to Up Beauty for sending me the product to try. When I recommend an eyeshadow palette, you best bet I actually truly do love it because nothing frustrates me more than a palette that doesn't perform. So this one will be going in my favorite drawer, and I will definitely have to play with some of the other shades in the palette. So let me know if you guys are going to pick this palette up and what you think about the look I created using the Skyfire palette in the comments down below. Well, I'm going to finish the video off here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see any other looks that I don't create here, check out my Instagram at makeupwithalex. All of my social medias are linked down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!